guys, and welcome to another episode of the Join My Trip co-working show. My name is Anna and I'm really happy that you tuned in again to talk about another amazing destination for your next co-working trip. So this is the show for all the remote workers, digital nomads, and the ones that want to become any of these. And last week we talked about the amazing destination Ericeira that is located close to Lisbon. And today I thought, okay, where I'm going to talk about next, and because we already talked about Lisbon yesterday, I thought, okay, let's just we talked about Ericeira last time. Let's talk about Lisbon today. So the co-working destination for today's travel show is going to be Lisbon, and to be honest, it's one of my favorite cities in Europe. Of course, my top favorite city is still Seville, because that was where I lived for a long time. And the second one definitely is Lisbon, because the city just has it all basically. Has a lot of different quarters, is located at the ocean. You can do amazing day trips to the surrounding, and of course, super interesting is as well that it has a really, really big airport. And you don't need a car for your co-working trip. I mean, just to get around. So first of all, I will talk about, okay, so where to live in Lisbon. I think this question is really depends on what you're searching for. So my favorite city for part of the city is Alfama. That's an area. It's the older area. It has a lot of stairs and really tiny houses, a lot of art, a lot of painted walls and a lot of graffitis and a lot of cute and tiny restaurants. This is my favorite area, but of course you can also check out Airbnbs in Barrio Alto or a bit outside of the city, because there's really good public transportation in the city. Of course, Lisbon is going to be a bit more expensive than maybe, let's say, if you go to Ericeira or down in the Algarve, and you might not have those huge villas, but they also have big apartments where you can easily fit a group of 4 to 6 co-workers. Then second of all, of course, as always, the internet. I think I've talked about internet in Portugal in a few other episodes. Portugal isn't a place where you really don't have to worry at all. The internet is absolutely incredible. I would always just get one of these SIM cards from Vodafone that will cost you for 60 gigabyte 30 euros, and it's valid for 30 days. And you can just put it into a little router. I can link a link to that one that I have that I really like from TP-Link in the show notes. And also, if not, you can just take a second phone and just give a hotspot to your laptop. This is what has been working for me pretty good always. Another thing about the internet, of course, you can either work from your Airbnb, but also in Lisbon, as in Ericeira, you also have a lot of co-working spaces. So you can check out various co-working spaces, but also a lot of hostels do have co-working spaces available. There's Selina Hostel, but also from Hostels Hub, there are quite some hostels that offer co-working space in the hostel. But besides this, you also have co-working spaces that are not attached to any accommodation, in case you don't want to work from your apartment. This could also be a good option. Besides this, of course, what to do in Lisbon. I mean, I don't have to tell you there's so many sightseeing things to do, but I think I want to just point out some that are my favorite ones and that are maybe not the top 1 places that everybody would recommend you. First thing, of course, is watching one of the sunset as one of the miradors. It's my favorite one is the Mirador Santa Catalina. Grab a beer, sit down there. There are going to be some people playing the guitar, dancing. And you just have an amazing view, and it's absolutely incredible. This is, I think, one of my highlights in Lisbon. And of course, the other thing is to visit the Alex Factory. The Alex Factory is an area a bit outside of Seville. Wow. You see, I'm going to Seville next week, and this is why I'm thinking already so much about Seville. It's so much in my head. So anyway, so the top 1 thing is the Alex Factory. It's an old area where there were a lot of factories, and now they rebuilt it, and it's kind of it always reminds me a bit of Berlin. It's a bit similar. It's a really alternative, and a lot of tiny stores, people selling their stuff. And the great thing is on the weekends, it opens up for a small market. So there's a flea market and also a market in general where people are just selling their stuff, and it's so cool. I think they start Saturday morning, and it's also on Sundays. And there are also tiny galleries where they can rent them and create their own stuff. So it's really special place. You can easily get there by tram from Lisbon City, or just take an Uber, which won't cost you too much, because Uber is really common in Lisbon. It's really comfortable to go, and you can easily order it with your app, and then you will be there in a few seconds. And of course, you can also see the price before, which I always really like. So yeah, Alex Factory definitely is one of the coolest spots I think I've been to. Go there really early because there are lots of people coming. But yeah, that's definitely one of my highlights. And then of course, for me, it's just strolling around in Barrio Alto, and of course, one time partying in the Pink Street and in the Barrio Alto, which is actually a street that is pink. So yeah, so the name says it. And you have a lot of bars there, and if you just walk, then all the bars will give you like free shots and you can dance and stuff. Of course, this is like pre-corona. It depends on how the situation is when you go there, but this is definitely like the 3 things that I would definitely recommend you to do. And yeah, there's so many other things that the city has. It's just have at least 3 days time to like explore. But the thing is, if you're co-working there, you can just after work always explore. And this is the amazing thing about co-working, right? You don't have to take vacation, but you can still live in another country and explore it. I mean, yeah, besides this, oh yeah, I think one of my last highlight is a restaurant that I always recommend with people asking me for tips for Lisbon. It's called the Food Temple, located in the Barrio Alto. And the great thing about this is that it's kind of like a special location because you're literally sitting on the stairs in the middle of Barrio Alto, and it's really cute with like lampions and stuff. And they always have one menu for the whole week, so you only have like you can choose between 2 different starters, 2 different main dishes, and 2 different desserts, and it's all made with a lot of love. And yeah, it's all vegan, it's all like natural products, and the waiters are so cool and so nice. And this restaurant is always packed, so when you go there, make sure to reserve a table up front, either on Instagram or just on Facebook, or just call them, because yeah, it's always really, really full. And that's why actually I fell in love with Vinho Verde, which is like a special wine from Portugal that is a bit more sparkling. That was the first time I drank it there, and since then I'm just in love. So make sure to try that when you're there. And I think, yeah, these were my top highlights, besides all the other highlights. And yeah, second thing is, of course, what to do outside of Lisbon. There are amazing things to do. I would definitely recommend you to just rent a car for a weekend and just explore. But also, if you don't have a car, you have various options. So first of all, what you can do is you can do a day trip to Cascais, which is a little tiny fisher village located 30 minutes by train from Lisbon. I've been there with a few friends and I stayed for a few days and I absolutely loved it. The train is, when I was there, was 5 euros to go back and forth, and the train ride itself is already spectacular. So you literally ride the train along the coast, and it's an amazing view. And Cascais itself, it's quite small, but you have a lot of really cute restaurants and cafes, and you have a nice beach, and you have a lot of surfers. That's always nice to watch. Of course, if you're surfing yourself, you can also easily rent some surf equipment there, and you can easily spend the whole day there just strolling around. And you can also visit Cabo da Roca. There's a bus going. It's like a really cool viewpoint as well. And yeah, my favorite restaurant in Cascais was House of Wonders. It's a really Instagrammable spot, so if you're into like colorful furniture and colorful dishes and dishes from all over the world, that's the place to go. It's a bit more not spicy, it's also spicy, but food is spicy, but it's a bit more pricey, so it's a bit more expensive, but you pay for the amazing location, and it's really, really cool experience. You can of course also just go there for a drink, but you by now you should know me, like I'm just a huge lover of cafes and exploring new places, so I'm fine with paying a bit more for having a nice location. Yeah, and besides this, yeah, I mean, Cascais is definitely great for a day trip. Also, you can stay there for a night. There are a few cool hostels. And then, of course, things you shouldn't miss, 2 more cities. One is Ericeira. If you want, check out my episode that I talked about Ericeira for more details, what to do there, which beaches are the best ones, which yoga studios you should go to. For me, Ericeira is the absolute mecca for yoginis, digital nomads, and surfers. It's absolutely incredible. I love the vibes there, so you should definitely visit. You can go there by bus or just take a car. It's 20 minutes, or even take an Uber. If you share with some people that you can find on JoinMyTrip, then it's gonna be easy. And besides this, of course, you can't visit Lisbon without going to Sintra, the town with amazing castle, and it's just a fairy tale village. For me, it was just absolutely incredible. I've seen pictures before, but I would have never imagined it so beautiful. And make sure to go there really early, and if you can, stay for a night, because then you can have and explore Sintra without all the bunches of tourists coming with all the tourist buses. Make sure to get one of these day passes to visit all the castles, because you do have a lot of castles to visit, and watch the sunset as the Moorish castle, because that's the most incredible thing I've ever done. So yeah, Sintra for me is an absolutely do, but it's super, super touristy. So really make sure to plan your time ahead. Maybe try to take a day off and to not go on the weekends. Right now, I don't know how many tourists there are, but I can imagine that slowly they're all coming back. So yeah, these are definitely my 3 top places to visit outside of Lisbon. But you have so many amazing beaches, beach bars. You can just sit in the car, go around and explore. You won't get disappointed at all. So yeah, that was it, all about Lisbon. I could continue this forever. If you want, you can also check out our Portugal webinar, where we actually talked a lot about Lisbon and the highlights, and also Ericeira, if you want to know more about it. But also we're talking about Algarve. Just check it out. I'm sure you're gonna find a lot of more tips. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this episode, don't forget to thumb up, to share it with your friends, to leave a comment below, and of course check out our other social media channels in our of JoinMyTrip. I'm so happy you tuned in today. See you next time for my next episode. I have to see where I'm going to talk about, but it's probably going to be another continent. Let's see. Have an amazing day, and thanks so much for listening. Bye.